Okay, this is Scott here. This is day 3 of me working up my new SPY 10-minute day trading system. And I'm still in the very early stages of developing skill. And so the way that we do this is that step 1 for me is doing a bar by bar walk forward. So at this stage, I'm just tracking the results. I'm not actually entering in the entries into a sim platform, and I'll show you the results for the first 2 days. We've had a good string. We had one loser, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 winners, and we're up 3.36 R. So now this is day 3. I made a mistake on day 1, a mistake on day 2. I can't move on from this stage into actual sim trading in real time until I can prove that I can do this without making mistakes. So I made 2 mistakes. Unacceptable. You can't make a mistake a day and end up making money in the long term. If you make a mistake a day, you're just going to send yourself broke. So I'm trying to progressively overload myself. So the idea is that we learn optimally when we are challenged but not overwhelmed. So the first day I took a little sneaky peek at the chart, so I basically knew what was happening. Yesterday I didn't do so much of that. I think I did it once or twice. Today I haven't done it at all, so this is coming in raw. Okay, so the first 10-minute bar off the open from the SPY, we have a big gap open. So what do we have here? We have a gap open sell and a failed shooting star sell. So if price breaks here, I will be short. Price did not break there, so I cancel that short order. Now, we have no long setup and no short setup. Let me just check that. The close is 271.03 and the open is 271.02. No, we have no setup on this bar. We have, this is not the lowest low in 10 bars, so even though this is a retest of this low, this is not a setup, and it's not a long setup, and it's not a short setup. Still nothing. Still nothing. Okay, let me just check if we've got a gap open there. So here the close is 271.69 and the open is 271.71. So we have a gap open sell. Let me just double check that. 271.71 is the open and close is 271.69. So if we look closely, this is closed here. It's very difficult to see and open just a little bit above. So what this is telling us is that there's a micro gap in, which is a potential sign of strength, but if that sign of strength doesn't eventuate, then it's an indication that we may have temporary exhaustion of buying pressure, which would be a sell through. So bottom line, I'm going short if we break the bar low here with a stop at the high, and we have not broken the bar low, so that order is cancelled. Let's check it again. So the close here is 271.98 and the open is 271.99. We have the same gap open sell setup, so I'll be short if it breaks the bar low. You can see that today I'm treating things a lot more seriously than I was yesterday. Okay, so we are short. Our stop is here. Our stop is untouched. We're taking partial profits at 1R. That is not quite 1R. It's not a long way away either. So at 1R, we take partial profits and move the stop either to break even or to a trailing stop, which would be a trail at the high. So let's see. Okay, so here we've hit one, just eyeballing it. You can see this is obviously, if the distance between here and here is 1R, we've made slightly more than 1R. So at that point, we trail a stop if that stop is better than break even. So if break even was better than our stop, like our trailing stop would be here, then we would place the stop at break even. But because the trail is better than break even, So we place our stop right here. Okay, do we have a buy setup? We do not have a buy setup. Okay, our trailing stop is not hit. Our stop goes to here. Let's check if we have a gap open buy setup. So the close is 271.46 and the open is 271.48, so we do not have a gap open buy setup. Do we have a fake out buy setup? So the low here of this bar is 271.06 and the low of this bar 270.99, 271.06. Okay, so we have a spike low defined as a bar with a higher low to the left of it and a higher low to the right of it. We have a movement away, and the first bar to break that spike low is this bar. So even though we are short, if it breaks the high here, which coincidentally is where our stop is placed, we will be long. So we have half an hour banked from banking half the trade at 1 hour profit, which was around there. We have a trailing stop right there. Okay, our long order is not filled. Our trailing stop moves to here. Okay, so let's check, do we have a gap open buy setup? So the close is 271.26 and the open is 271.26. We do not. So we're trailing a stop. We do not have a buy setup. And we are stopped out there and eyeballing it. Let me get out the calculator and I'll work it out exactly. Alright, so this is a 0.94 R, and I'll just show you the calculation. This bar here, you can see right down there, the numbers if you look closely. So this is, your stop is 1 tick above the high, so that would make it 272.46. The entry point is 1 tick below the low, which is 271.98, which means we have a 48 tick R value, and your exit point is 1 tick above here, which is 271.55, which means that on the trailing stop portion of our trade, which is half the trade, we made 43 ticks on a 48 tick R value, which is 0.895. So we made 0.895 R on half the trade, and we made 1 R on the other half of the trade. So that makes 1.8958 R total, and that's a 0.94 R total trade. So we made 0.94, and we do not have a long trade. So we are stopped out, and what do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have a retest variation cell retesting this high, which is the highest high in 10 bars. This is the last bar that it's open, so if we break the low of here, we will be short. We do not break the low, and you can see we have, do we not break the low? Let me just check that. The low here is 271.19, and the low is 271.20, so we are 1 tick away from breaking the low, and we have an inside bar. Because we have an inside bar, we have both a long and a short setup. Either way, we are going to use the nearest. So if we go long, we're going to use this spike instead of this low because it's close by. And if we go short, we're going to use this spike because it's close by as a stop. So let's see what happened. Okay, we get short. Our stop is here. It's unthreatened. Period 1. We have a fake out buy set up. If it breaks the high of here, we will be going long, and we are currently short. We have an inside bar setup, so if it breaks the high here, we will be going long with a stop below here. If it is going short, we cannot take that because we are already short, but we would reset we would reset the shot clock. We have 3 bars to make 1 R, or we exit the trade, win, lose, or draw. We have bar 1, bar 2. The next bar, if it's another inside bar, we will exit. Okay, so we break the low of here and we reset the shot clock. We are getting pretty close to making 1R here, I think. Oh, before I do that. Okay, we have a potential buy setup. We have a spike low. We have the first spike to break it. So we have a long setup here. If we break the high, we will go long, and we are currently short. Okay, we have another inside bar. So this becomes a fake out inside bar setup, which is better than a regular inside bar setup. So we are going to go long if we break this high here, and if we break the low here, we are going to reset the shot clock, which is at 1 bar. Sorry, 2 bars. Okay, so we are long and short simultaneously. Now this is very interesting. So we are short with a stop here. And we are 1, 2, 3 trades in. Okay, so we reset the shot clock from here. So 1, 2, 3 bars. So we have to exit this trade here. We exit at close, so the close is 270.96, and our entry is 271.20. Okay, let me work that out. $196 and 271.12. So we're making 7 ticks on a range of high is 92, low is 20, so it's 94, so 74. So we're making 7 on 74. So we made 0.1 of an R. So we have exited our short trade, which we entered into on the break of the low there. We have exited it here for a 0.1 of an R win, and we are long with a stop here. Do we have a short setup? We technically do have a short setup. We have a trend trade short setup because we are making a move down, up, and down to the spike, between the spikes. So if we break the low of here, we will go short, and we are currently long. Okay, we cancel that order to go short. We are currently long. Our stop is here. This is bar 2. Have we made... This is bar 2. Have we made 1R? We'd be pretty close, but I don't think we have. And we've definitely made 1R at this point. So you can see the range from here to here. We've made 1R. So at this point, we either go to break even, or if a trailing stop is better, we go to a trail. So we place our stop here. So we're trying to capture outlier winners by running a trail on half the position. So let's check if we have a sell setup. Our close here is 271.58, and our open is 271.59. So we have just a micro gap, but it's a potential gap open sell. So if we break the low, we will be exiting our long for a small profit and getting short with a stop here. So let's see what happens. Okay, so we are not getting short. We trail again. Do we have... We have a fake out sell because we have a spike high here, and this is the... You can see this is the first bar to break that spike high. So I haven't made a mistake so far, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 bars in, which is 3.5 hours of trading. Okay, so where is our shot clock? We don't need the shot clock. We are trailing a stop. So our stop is here, and we will go short if we break the bar low. We are not going short. We move our stop to here. We will go short if we break the low of this bar, because this is an inside period setup with a stop at the most recent spike. If it does break to the upside, we reset the shot clock. Okay, it breaks to the upside, it resets the shot clock. So, oh no, we're not using a shot clock. We're just running a trail. So it breaks to the upside. We have a potential fake out sell setup, and our stop is at the bar low, and we have a potential sell setup. So we've locked in quite a decent amount of profit here. Let's see what happens. Okay. So what's happened here? We move our something was weird there for a minute. So we move our stop to the bar low here. We do not have a sell set up, I don't think. No, we do not. And we are stopped out of our trade. Now, let me take a moment to just work out exactly what we made on that trade, and we'll put it in this. Alright, so I just finished working it out. So here you can see that our entry point was 271.06, which is one tick above the high. Our stop is 270.36, which is one tick below this low. We banked half the trade at 1R, so we've got a half an hour off that, and we banked half the trade at the conclusion of here, which is at 272.16, which is 110 ticks on a 70 tick R value, which is 1.57 R on half the trade. So you divide that by 2, add it to the half an R that we already had, and we get 1.28 R. Now, let's add it to our spreadsheet so far, and we have 1.28. So our equity curve is up to 5.68. The trade's running quite well, and as you can see, if you look at my previous videos for the last couple of days, you can see that my trading is demonstrably improved in just 3 days. So it wasn't so long ago that I was really sucking out loud. Now in 17 minutes, I've got through quite a lot of trading. We may as well finish up the whole day. Okay, so there is no buy set up there. We have a potential sell set up if it breaks the bar low here, because it's a fake out. First bar to break that spike high. Spike high is a bar with a lower high to the left of it and a lower high to the right of it. First bar to break it is here. We have an inside bar, so we have both long and short setup. So we go short here with a stop here, or long here with a stop here. Okay, I would have to check the exact parameters of, I would have to bring out a 1 minute chart or a tick chart to see whether it went down first and up first. But I'm assuming that it broke the low first and then went high, because that's the highest probability. So I'm going to assume that was a 1R loss on the short side. So we have a short trade with a stop here, which is stopped out, and a long trade, which is entered here with a stop here, which is still in play. So we are long. We have just banked a 1R loss. Okay, we have bar 2. The shot clock is at 2 out of 3 bars, so if we don't make 1R shortly, we exit this trade. So this trade, let me just work out. I'm just going to pause the thing while I work it out for you. Alright, so our long trade we entered in here, which is 272.72, one tick above the high. Our stop is right here, which is 271.80, one tick below the low. So we have a 92 tick R value, and after 3 periods we've exited on close here, and our exit is 272.91, which gives us a 19 tick profit, which is a 0.2 R win. So let's go back to our spreadsheet and go 0.2. So for the day so far, we have 3 wins and 1 losses, and we're up a little bit for the day, about normal. Okay, so what do we have for this trade? Do we have an inside period? We have a low is 272.67, and the low on the next bar is 272.67. So we have an exact double bottom, which is unusual, but it's an inside bar. So if we break the low here, we are going short, and if we break the high, we are going long. Okay, we are short. Our stop is here. We are still short. Period 2, you can see that putting the stop at the spike high instead of the bar high saved us a 1R loss then. And we have a retest concept, which is a hidden retest here. If it breaks the high, if it breaks the low here, we reset the shot clock. We reset the shot clock. So 1, 2, 3 bars. And do we have a buy setup? We do not. You're only allowed 1 retest. So even though this is a retest variation sell, because we already entered the retest concept, we do not have a second bite of the cherry. Okay, we are stopped out of our trade for a 1R loss. And we have a fake out sell on here. Oh, sorry. We are short on that fake out sell, so we have the spike high, the first to break it. So we're short. Our stop is above here. We have a potential long setup if we break the high of here. So we'll enter that in. Okay, bar 2, we have made 1R, so we banked half an R profit at about here, and we initiate a break-even stop on the remainder because our trailing stop is not better than break-even. Do we have a buy setup? We have a fake out buy setup. If it breaks here, we will be long. All right, now we're working. So our trail is here. We've already banked profit. Our trail is here. We've already banked profit. Oh yes. Our trail is here. We've already banked profit. Do we have a buy set up? The close is 270.86 and the open is 270.86. We do not have a buy set up. So at this point, I'm actively looking to be stopped out of this trade. We've got a great winner there. And that is the end of the day. That is the last bar of the day. So we would exit on close. So let me just work out what we made there. Okay, so to recap this trade, our entry point was a tick below here, which is 272.70. Our stop was 273.24, which is a 54 tick R value. We banked half the trade at 1R, which is approximately here, giving us half an R in the bank, and we initiated a trail. We initiated a break-even stop because the break-even stop was better than the trail. Here we trailed, exit at close at the end of the day, and that exit at close was 270.63, which is 207 ticks on a 54 tick R value, which is 3.83 R on half the trade, which added to our 1 R on the other half of the trade gives us a total of 2.41 R. So let's put that in our sheet. Now, if you're watching this, and there's a couple of things that I'd like to point out. So, first of all, after 3 days, we're 6.29 R up. That's nice, but it's not really the main game. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 trades, and 1, 2, 3 losers. Doing pretty good. It's probably doing better than I would have expected it to. 13 trades for 6.29 R is $6.29 is 0.48 expectancy. That's unsustainably high. That will come down. I expect drawdowns to happen fairly soon. The point is, if you watch my video yesterday, I wasn't nearly as good as I was today. And if you watch the video the day before, I really kind of sucked. And Daniel and I were here together, and we sort of sucked. So my point is that when you practice this progressive overload principle, so this is still not real trading. This is not even sim trading. I don't have to enter the orders into a platform. I don't have to change my stops around. It's going to become a lot harder when I have to do that. But because I've proven to myself I could do the whole session today, I didn't make any mistakes, I got a great result. And the great result is not that I made a lot of money. The great result is that I didn't make any mistakes. Now I'm ready to go to the next stage, and the next stage is me actually entering in those orders and moving my stops around and doing it all in a sim trading platform. And I probably won't be able to do, in fact, I definitely won't be able to do a whole day like this. I'd be very surprised if I could do more than this much of the day before I emotionally burn out. Now, the challenge for me as I move to a more difficult sort of trading, as I level up to the next level, is that I don't want to push it past where I'm emotionally fatigued. I want to go until it's just challenging, but before I start fucking up and making mistakes. So in this idea, maybe I can only do 30 minutes, maybe I can do 40 minutes of doing it all properly, sim trading, and then we'll gradually wind that out to 15 minutes, 60 minutes, and then I'll get to 2 hours. When I can get to 2 hours of proper sim trading, then I'll use the funded account, and I'll just trade it very small. And once I've got to that stage, then we'll start trading $1,000 R's or something that's not even going to upset me if I lose. And then eventually we can go to real money trading. So what we've got here is a very, very systematic way of building technical skill. Okay.